Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, I'll be talking to you guys about all the class changes happening in patch 8.1.5. Patch 8.1.5 is coming out Tuesday, March 12th, or the next day, Wednesday, for European servers, and the patch includes a couple different updates. In this video, I want to highlight the class changes that are happening with this brand new patch and how they will affect the gameplay of some of the classes or even specs. In this pledge, Blizzard is not really taking the time to balance classes. You're not going to see some crazy 20% buff here, 40% nerf there, but a few classes did get a few adjustments. Mostly, this patch is trying to deal with GCD and popping big abilities. Abilities that don't particularly feel that good. There are a couple classes in the game where you pop your big whammo button, but you have to spam a global doing nothing, and it just doesn't feel quite as fun. So Blizzard is adding an extra effect to some of those classes, specifically the ones that just don't feel quite that great. Before we dive into specific classes, the one generalized nerf that has happened is Bonded Soul traits. Healing effect has gotten nerfed. If you still benefit from the haze buff of this trait, then it's still a decent trait, but if you were taking this trait specifically for the healing effect that it provided, it is getting a slight nerf overall. This makes this trait a little bit less lucrative to go to and less of a best in slot choice, allowing other traits to shine a little bit brighter. For Droids, we see Boomkin Celestial Alignment change. If you're taking Celestial Alignment, that means not Incarnation. Your Celestial Alignment will now grant you 40 Astral Power when used. This change is done to hopefully encourage Boomkins to try out Celestial Alignment as a buff by itself and try other talents in the row where Incarnation is. Maybe certain builds might be able to come out of it, and it makes this ability overall a little bit less of a dead global to press when you're trying to do the most amount of damage as a Druid. Restoration Druid's Master Shapeshifter guarding affinity aspect of the talent has been nerfed from 20% down to 10 because it made them way too powerful and too tanky within PvP. For Hunters, we have massive buffs for Beast Mastery, although how good these buffs will be will depend, really with the Hunter community. Very soon we will know if Beast Mastery is worth playing now, at least in the raid environment. We have Barb Shot that does more damage and now completely ignores target's armor, even though the ability was primarily a bleed to begin with, so it should have ignored armor. Then we also have Cobra Shot, which simply just deals more damage. Maybe this will be enough of a buff to bring Beast Mastery more into the spotlight. Next, we have fixes for Monk as a Windwalker. There's one change, but mostly this patch addresses bug fixes for majority of Monk abilities. If you're a Windwalker, you're probably very happy that they're trying to fix the bugs with Storm, Earth, and Fire, the Fists of Fury, and the traits that play with Fists of Fury. So you can imagine some traits where AoE Fist of Fury happens, your primary target dies, you're no longer benefiting from certain traits. This fix will help that ability be a little bit more reactive, and Whirling Dragon Punch should bug out a lot less compared to how much it bugs out now, making the spec a little bit more consistent. On top of that, there was a change to Energizing Elixir. Now it grants you the energy over time instead of an instant amount of energy. Maybe this will help monks from being able to stopgap themselves at full energy bar and have a global wasted where they simply have maximum energy and no overdrawing. Maybe this will allow for a more smoother playstyle, but time will tell. For all three specs of Paladins, they're changing up how Avenging Wrath works. Once you pop the ability, the next certain spell is going to have 100% critical effect to it. For Holy Paladins, next Holy Shock will be 100% crit. For Protection, next Light of the Protector will be an 100% crit. And for Retribution Paladins, your next Templar's Verdict or Divine Storm, only one of those abilities will take the buff, will be 100% crit. For Rogues, we have a couple changes. For Outlaw Rogues, Adrenaline Rush now increases your maximum energy cap by 50 when you use it on CD. This will allow Outlaw Rogues to have a little bit extra energy to pull with while they're popping Adrenaline Rush, especially during Bloodlust. It feels like you're just generating too much combo points and your abilities are way too expensive for energy, so this should smooth out your burst rotation. For Assassination, they changed the mind-numbing poison to finally work with wound poison. There's a good potential we might start seeing mind-numbing poison in some arenas. For Shamans, Restoration Shaman Ascendants will now come with an extra heal when you use this ability. The heal itself will also benefit to the effects of Restoration Shaman Ascendants, where it has the duplication bonus. So this talent might be a little bit more usable in some tight situations. Finally, we have some Warlock changes, this one mainly dealing with explosive potential. Explosive potential as a trait allowed Warlocks to completely forego, at least in PvE content, any haste in their gear, stacking mastery, crit, and versatility, and getting haste from a trait called explosive potential. What explosive potential does is it grants you a set amount of haste every time you sacrifice 3 imps to implosion. So at all times would you have implosion buff with explosive potential running at all times, granting you a very powerful playstyle that gave you enough haste to equal a bloodlust. This was just very busted, very broken, and a lot of Warlocks expected it. There was also a weird interaction between Summon Demonic Tyrant, especially when that Tyrant sacrifices your imps to be buffed, and whenever you use Implosion, where Implosion will basically allow you to sacrifice your demons while your Tyrant gets to consume them with their power. So it allowed for a buggy playstyle that forced your Tyrant to be a little bit too strong on damage. So they're fixing the bug and then nerfing the haste. Don't really know how it's going to affect Warlocks for PvE, but maybe they'll go back to a haste heavy playstyle with other traits to play to their build. But explosive potential should still give you a fair amount of haste. Blizzard doesn't want to discourage it, they just simply want to reduce the effectiveness of that haste, maybe to force Warlocks to prioritize a bit different stats in their gear. And this is everything you need to know for all the class changes for 8.1.5. There's not a lot of changes, and only one class really getting buffed and kind of one class getting kind of nerfed, but for the most part it tries to deal with big cooldowns. Kind of disappointed with 8.1.5 because usually we see some crazy class changes happening with every 0.5 patch. At least that's what we saw in Legion. But I'm very excited to see that the classes that are getting buffed, that are getting some changes, are getting much needed changes, especially when it comes to the GCD playstyle of the BFA expansion. So this is actually kind of cool. Very excited to see how this is going to go. Cannot wait to test out my particular buff for Outlaw Rogue. But you guys, let me know in the comments below if you like these changes. What do you think about these buffs? If you're a Hunter main and you're watching this video, how do you think this is going to affect Beast Mastery Hunters? And if you're a Warlock, how bad of a nerf is this for Locks? Let me know all that stuff in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and I will see all of you guys in another video.